I have been reading the comments under my videos. Today's video is another. It's not really me explaining myself in regards to I'm not explaining myself to you all because I said what I said and I believe in what I said and I'm standing 10 toes down on what I said. What I do not want you all to make this about is DV, because some of you all are in my comments talking about DV and I never once mentioned that. So you can get that out your head. Hello, good people. Hello. My name is Akiela Galore. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. You see the title. Let's jump right into it. I see in that same comment, the person says, decentering men is a movement. What? Like how Amber Rose had the slut walk? That's a movement? What? Like Black Lives Matter? That movement? You all, like I said, you all just believe in trends that you see on the internet. You all just make new trends up on the internet and then follow them without having any self-autonomy. That is my point. Stop saying decenter men when you want a man. And I'm not saying, I just feel like y'all have misconstrued my point, and my point still stands because I understand that there are people on the internet who are committed to misunderstanding me. Y'all acting like I said go jump off a bridge or something. I never said that. I never said I condone DV. If your man is not treating you right, then get the hell on. You hear me talk about that a lot. I believe in self-autonomy. I believe in thinking for yourself, not letting the internet think for you. I believe in having a brain and using it. I believe in not following every trend that's set before me. Y'all under my comments, I just did 5.9 miles one way and that's almost 6 miles and I'm headed back home, so that's gonna be 12 miles total. Get up off your ass and unbig it back, and maybe men won't be the center of your world for real. When you look good, you feel good, and you go out into the world having a mind of your own, not following trends saying that, oh, everybody's talking about decenter men now, I'm gonna decenter men too. All I said is Latin women are out here using their daintiness to get what they want, all while men are not the center of their lives. And that rattled y'all. That pissed y'all off. Did somebody gonna comment under my video talk about some? Of course, they're the preference. If you think like that, then I can see why. Maybe you've made men the center of your world and they never paid attention to you, or you become a woman who hates men. And that's another thing. A lot of you are also not going to agree with what I say because y'all hate men. Y'all are man haters. And then somebody gonna comment under my video talking about some damn patriarchal bites another one or some shit like that. I said, girl, clearly patriarch got you. You dark skinned with a blonde ass wig, looking like a white woman in dark skin, and I'm not being shady. Patriarchal got you because you like that hair, and now what? That hairstyle is appealing to a man. Who was you trying to appeal? If you wasn't trying to appeal to no man, I don't think that you would be wearing a color scheme of hair that's so off from your skin color. Make it make sense. I'm just saying. And then a lot of y'all trying to be like, oh, you're a sugar babe. Of course you're gonna say that about men. You're a sugar babe. Girl, shut up. To this topic, it's very thought-provoking. It's engaging. It has you all wanting to put me in my place. I don't care. Put me in my place. Go in the comments and put me in my place. You can like, dislike. Put me in my place in the comments. Talk your shit in the comments. But what I do know is I said stop saying that shit. Stop saying that shit. Stop getting on the internet spreading false narratives about men because you got your heart broken. Stop getting on the internet spreading these false narratives. And it's not my fault if you don't know how to look. Like I said, I do not condone DV. However, I do condone having a brain of your goddamn own. If you in a relationship and that man ain't treating you right, you know you gotta leave, but you stand because you codependent. Of course, what I say gonna hurt you. I've been there. And I got myself out of this situation. That's why I'm able to talk to y'all about it. I've been married. When he wasn't treating me right, I left. I didn't stay there to try to fix him. I didn't stay there to try to reconcile. You know what? As a matter of fact, as soon as my divorce was over, I waited 18 months before I talked to another man. Sucked another dick. Fucked another dick. I didn't do none of that. I healed. I went to therapy. And that's what a lot of you women need to do instead of running to these men and making them the center of your world, and then when they don't give you what you want, or you don't get what you want out of the relationship, you want to say decenter men, and after your heart been broken, you want to go out here and spread this false narrative when you really need to be sitting in a therapist chair healing your hurt wounds. But nah, y'all don't want to talk about that because you don't want to do the work on yourself, because it requires work that needs to be done on yourself, internal work. All this really leads back to self and doing the shadow work on yourself, which a lot of y'all don't want to do because you're fucking comfortable and content with where you are in life. Therefore, you don't want to make a change. Change is inevitable. It's not easy. And a lot of us who you see making that change, it's not fucking easy, bitch. We just choose not to be the same. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, I was raised like this, allow me to continue being a shitty person. That's just the way I am. I'm not gonna allow that to be who I remain the same. So I said what I said. I believe in what I said. I'm standing 10 toes down on what I said. Y'all need to stop saying decenter men when you just hurt, bitter, and broken. And you need to heal. You get up, sis. You get in the gym. Get outside. Focus on something else. Find a creative outlet. Start your own YouTube channel and talk about why you decenter men. And why you believe in decentering men. Because men are not the center of your world. Because you was once a person who loved a man so hard that was the center of your world. He shattered the glass ceiling, hurt your feelings and broke your heart. And now you made a movement talking about decenter men. And these Latin women out here taking your man because you want to decenter him. Nope. Let me hear y'all say it in the back. My man, my man, my man. Let's talk about it. My man, my man, my man. You want to go get like that? Be with your man, your man, your man. But nah. What kills me is I see people romanticizing so much shit on the internet. And the girl is right from the comments talking about some. Everybody's on the internet isn't the same, don't think the same. They've been in, hardship relationships. Look, don't try to make this about domestic violence, because I never said that. What I am saying is you need to think and have a brain of your own. Focus on what you want out of your life. Get a vision for yourself. Stick to the plan. Work your plan and make your plan work. And look cute doing it. Look good doing it. Men or not. FYI, when I see a Latin woman that's appealing and doing something that I like, I simply take notes. I don't hate. I don't try to call her out her name or none of that. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see who attention you caught. I'm taking notes. I'm asking questions. I'm doing better. So I too can have whatever it is she got if I want it. That's my point. take notes instead of having a lack of understanding. I'm not mad at you all because you have a lack of understanding of where I'm coming from. Not at all. I'm talking about what I see in South Florida, Miami Beach. I see a lot of Latin women being in their feminine energy. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Another reason why you saying decenter men, or I feel is if this movement is going around, kind of correlates, kind of doesn't, but this is where I think that the decenter men stems from. I feel like it stems from a place of hurt and not knowing how to put yourself first, because when you love yourself, the way that you love, I'll say this, in my mind, this is why I can leave people if it's not conducive to my lifestyle. Hold on. The reason why I feel is if I can easily remove people from my life that no longer serve me is because I love myself deeply and innately. Every intricate part of a flaw, I don't give a fuck if the whole world's against me. I love myself, and I'm always going to unconditionally love myself. And when I don't receive that type of energy and love from other people who come into my vicinity, I let them loose because I know what real love feels like, starting from me. So when I pour into people and they don't pour back into me, I simply remove my energy and my time, my effort, and don't deal with them, and they feel it, and I go give it else place. I don't change the way I love because somebody didn't love me back. I remove my love and go give it to somebody else. And a lot of the times people become hurt and bitter because they didn't receive what they gave in the relationship. Therefore, it left a sour taste in their mouth, and they should have they seen the red flags from the beginning, and they knew to let it go, and they didn't. So now it's decenter men. So, and I feel like that comes from a place of a lack of balance between feminine and masculine energy, which we're going to get into when I get to my house. Okay, so I'm home, and right now you should see two charts on the screen describing both masculine and feminine energy, which we both genders. When I say both, I mean male and female. I am identifying this to make it simple. I'm saying male and female in this video. Okay, do not come for me with all of your other pronouns that y'all have, because I'm not no fucking cis woman. Okay, I'm just a woman. Now let's get into the energies of both masculine and feminine energies. On one hand, for feminine energies, you have when you're feeling empowered in your feminine energy, you're just being, you're authentic, you're intuitive, you're receptive, which is receiving, you're playful, empathetic, compassionate, creative, vulnerable, expressive, surrender. It's easy for you to surrender control. And when you're in your feminine energy, it allows for you to rest. It's easy to rest when you're feeling empowered in your feminine energy without any guilt. When you're feeling disempowered in your feminine energy, you're insecure, codependent, needy, over emotional, over apologizing, weak boundaries, shame and or guilt, feels unworthy, naive, conforming, and manipulative. So that's what some of y'all doing in my comments too, trying to manipulate me into believing what you believe when I just said what I said. So moving on to masculine energy. When you're feeling empowered in your masculine energy, you are doing, you're action oriented, you're honest, you're accountable, you're confident, you're supportive, you're logical, you're goal oriented, you're focused, you're ambitious, and you have healthy boundaries. Now, when you are disempowered, but still in your masculine energy, you are overdoing, which a lot of y'all do with these men. You're overthinking, which a lot of y'all do with these men. You're controlling the relationship, aggressive when things don't go your way, abusive, which I do not condone, a perfectionist, confrontational, overbearing,
emotionless, and heartless, which I believe that the person who made the decenter movement has come to be.
This is very generalized. I'm not saying that all the Latin women are this way, but what I see is most Latin women have a balance of feminine and masculine energy, something that I see that African American women lack. They have more masculine than feminine energy, and then as soon as society see a black woman resting in her femininity, it's a problem. But let me tell you something. Stay there. Don't listen to them. And take notes from other women. You don't see other women giving a damn about whether they're being dainty in their femininity or not. They're just being. And that's something that I think that black women can learn a lot from, instead of judging and shaming and saying that they're the preference. Why don't you learn about the preference if you think it's the preference? Why don't you study the preference if you think it's the preference?
Let's get into the comments. First comment from Brittany R1456. She says, of course you don't hear them say that because they are the preference for the most part. And 13 people agreed with her. But I say, all right, because being the preference means they're automatically excluded from self-growth and empowerment discussions. Clearly, women who are preferred don't need to think critically about relationships or life. Makes total sense. That is so ignorant to say that they're just the preference, as if all men just love Latin women. No, what I do see is that because of their daintiness, they have this attention from men, and then you wonder why they're getting this attention from men. Why don't you study them? Next comment. Damn. Patriarchy got another one. I damn sure did dislike this comment because I felt like it was just ignorant. I say, oh no, not the patriarchy striking again. Clearly the blonde wig is the ultimate surrender. We're all doomed now. Because this is the girl, if you look at her profile picture. She has on this this bright blonde hair to appeal to who? Probably a man. Next comment. Next comment. Next fucking comment. Oh, this was a spicy one here. I loved it. I disliked it, but I loved it. Okay. She says, Coco 007 says, men are your business clientele. So your take may be different than the everyday woman, and that's fine. Oh, absolutely, because clearly the everyday woman has zero interest in understanding the dynamics of relationships or, benefiting from them in any way. Must be nice to just float through life with no goals or strategy. Totally fine. Well, actually, we could she says, she responded to me and she says, while I read that in your voice, all I know is that women need to stop watering the game down with low standards. I absolutely agree. The bar is set so low in hell for a lot of black women that they don't even think that they can have a great man or believe that it's possible for them, i.e. comments such as, oh, they're the preference. You just think that, that tells me so much about how you think about yourself. It's actually kind of sad. It tells me so much about how you think about yourself. Just ponder that for a moment. For you to make that sort of comment, what does that say about how you feel about yourself? If you dug deep, because I just don't see that type of comment coming from someone who truly loves themselves, to see themselves as the prize, to see themselves as being worthy of love and type of affection, that the same type of affection and love that a Latin woman gets, that you don't think because you're a black woman you can get it as well because you think that they're the preference. To me, that's plain ignorance. And I do not agree with it. I do not stand for it. And that's why I don't want this narrative out here about decentering men, because it be coming from a place of hurt from women like yourself, because you think that Latin women are the preference. No, baby girl, you could be the preference too, but you're too much trying to look like somebody else under that wig. Let's talk about it. Next comment. Most women decenter men because they have been done wrong, but everybody ain't getting played. Some people doing the playing. You never have to decenter men if you always center yourself. I see men worshiping the ground some women walk on. And this is from Bougie Hippie. And that is absolutely correct. Like I said in my last video, I took one of my subscribers out to dinner with me and one of my SDs, and he told her I'm following her lead. Girl, I could be cleaning my motherfucking bathroom and the dude would crawl up on his knees and start eating my booty cheeks from the back. I could motherfucking cuss him out and fucking say exactly how I feel because he did something to disrespect me, and now he wants down his dick hard. So when I say that you can just truly be yourself and have your way with these men, it starts with knowing a little bit something about self-love and self-worth. Not thinking that that woman is the preference. What about you being the preference? So thank you, Bougie Hippie. I definitely agree with your comment, girl. High five. I agree with that. Okay, and Bougie Hippie also left another comment saying, this is so true. It's mostly bitter women who want to decenter men. And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Like, that is it. I'm like, who the fuck put this narrative out? And then you got all these young girls following this narrative talking about decenter men. Like, what the fuck? Just a couple years ago, it was my man. Every time some fucking trend get on the internet, y'all always got them hopping on a bandwagon and thinking that it's a go. No, it's a no. Okay, this is the last comment that I'm going to read. It is a long one. From Mango Star 234 says, after watching, I'll say I second the comment about stepping back from the mic a little bit to help with the audio quality. Did I do any better this time? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, I understand your points, but it seems your issue with the decanter men movement stems from either you not liking the name or you confusing it with WGTOW. I don't know what the fuck that is. Since you yourself are doing a lot of things the movement promotes by not having men as the center of your universe, the decentered men movement doesn't say to not date, not marry, or not have kids. It's about a mindset shift. It's about knowing that you matter too, regardless of whatever choice you make in regard to your dating life. If you choose to stay single, that's okay. Don't let people pressure you out of your choice. If you choose to have a man, know you can love him and support him without him being the center of your universe, which seems to be something from the movement you also follow. Since you left a marriage where infidelity took place, many women would have stayed in such a marriage even at the expense of their physical and mental health. Lastly, I'll say everything on the internet is not for everyone. We have to remember people are coming from all walks of life. So you have to have some level of discernment to recognize a few things. Whether or not a message applies to you or even someone in your situation, and whether or not it's useful in general if it doesn't apply to you. For you, the decenter movement doesn't resonate because the healthy practices they're pushing, you've already been doing. For some women, they weren't. Many have families that ingrained in them to keep your marriage going no matter what. I've seen it firsthand. One of my former friends came from a family that normalized DV, and then she married into one that did the same. Then, surprise, surprise, her man was beating her. Instead of being surrounded by people trying to help her get out of the woman on both sides, instead of getting out, I lost where the fuck I was at. I'm not laughing because of the situation. I'm laughing because like there's a multitude of things here that's fucking tickling me. One, the incomplete fucking sentences. Like, I can't even, like, your sentences are incomplete, words are misspelled, and I am one who loves English and words. Like, and reading, okay. Then, surprise, surprise, her man was beating her. Instead of being surrounded by people trying to help her get out of, the women on both sides were telling her, if he's beating you, at least he's paying attention to you. So just stop making him angry. Absolute lunacy. The culture I come from normalizes infidelity and they recommend I stay in a marriage with a cheating man. I'm not going for that. Decentering Men is for women with experiences like the aforementioned. If you had it ingrained in you that a man should be the number one or only priority in your life, the Decentering Men movement lets you know it's okay if he's not. You can still have a romantic relationship while being a part of the Decentering Men movement. All it means is that your man, if you have one, is not your one and only priority. Tell me what you think about her comments down in the comment section below. She commented under the part 2 video, which will be linked in the description box. Please tell me what you think about this comment. Because someone said, very well articulated, Marie J. Very well articulated. And I agree. I had the privilege of learning from the women around me when it came to some stuff and had to learn through my own actions. At its core, it's about centering yourself the same way that man you position someone else that you love. That's it. Love yourself first. Like I said previously, this is not about DV at all. I do not agree with DV. I don't condone it. I understand what the movement is about. However, I just said stop putting this narrative out here for young women. I also understand the DV in regards to staying in a relationship, and it's not. I'll say this. I witnessed my parents go through DV at a very young age before they had all 7 of their kids. I think it was just like their first 3 or 4 kids, including myself. Sorry, I think I hit the mic. Including myself, I witnessed my parents go through DV. I witnessed my father do this with my mom. I witnessed this myself. That's why I was so mindful and so conscious. And I said to myself, I think of the tale of the 2 tall brothers. There are some people who will be like, oh, you know, I went through this. I watched my mom go through this and now I'm going through it. So I have to go through it too. Like, just because your mother went through DV does not mean that you have to be the exact same way that she was. You can choose through self-autonomy, through other experiences. You can choose, you can learn. There are so many resources out here that are here to teach us new things that you can learn yourself how to get out of situations like this. There are so many resources available to us nowadays that I don't really, I have to be careful when I'm talking about a subject such as this. But what I will say is I witnessed it. And because I witnessed it, I chose not to be that way. Not because I witnessed it, I'm choosing to be this way. It was the polar opposite. I seen it and I said to hell with it. Such as yourself in this comment. And did you try to help your friend out of the DV situation? Like, what happened? I need more context. Like, what happened with her situation? Like, I would need to know her. Like, I would never blame DV on the person. Like, oh yeah, you were raising your voice. You weren't treating your man right. So yeah, you deserve that. No, that's not the subject that I'm speaking on. I cannot speak from an experience that I did not experience. I can only tell you that I understand. So don't try to correlate DV and decentering men into the same category. Stop spreading these narratives on the internet for our young women to see who are growing up just because you've been broken, bruised, and you've become bitter. That's all I'm saying. And I see it coming from a lot of broken, bitter women on the internet, whether you agree with me or not. Thank you so much Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below on what you think about this subject. Let's keep this conversation going. I am going to be reading all of you all's comments. I will be responding. If I don't like your comment, I'm not going to, I will dislike it. If I like it, I will like it. And if I'm not going to respond, I don't have to respond. But I do see them. I do. Believe me, I'm motherfucking looking with my looking ass.